I'm Tom Boesen with Boesen the Florist, talking to you from Boesen's Greenhouses at 3422 Beaver Avenue, and encourage you to stop in and see us, or certainly visit us at boesen.com, our website for everyday selection and some wedding, or please, I encourage you to go to weddingflowersdesmoines.com as well. I think you'll really enjoy the things that we have there for you. Let me give you some simple advice when you're planting your flowers, whether it be with Boesen flowers or whoever you decide to go with. First of all, lead time is always appreciated. I would say the very first thing is you find yourself a husband or a wife, you've got a date set. Once you've picked your colors for your bridesmaids' dresses, and your venue, you know where the ceremony is going to be and when the reception, now you're ready to talk to the florist. You may want to book that date with the florist depending on how big or small the florist is. A smaller florist could certainly only do so many a day, and even if you don't decide what you may need for your total weddings, at least let him know that they are going to be doing it so they can be booked for that date. To be quite honest, as far as overall booking, you could maybe come to me sometimes on a Monday and I could do it for you on that weekend if you're open to using what we have available. But in most cases, these are all pretty custom, and they do take some planning. And as a general rule, it's usually anywhere from 6 to 7 months out. And not only for the florist. Trust me, I know that this is only one of the many expenses that is going to be incurred during your wedding planning. We know about limousines and photographers and receptions and flowers and dresses. So as you make your budget, it certainly you need to visit your florist at that time. As we talk about the styles that are coming up for this summer, fall, and winter, I think that some of the common denominators are, it's really minimalistic. Much more styles and flowers. I think that you'll see the traditional clutch bouquet, sometimes referred to as the Martha Stewart, but it's basically flower to flower. Quite often, not a big use of greenery. You could go maybe look at your mother's, your grandmother's pictures, and the one thing that you'll notice is they used lots of greens back then. Right now, we kind of go almost like the bouquet next to me. It's flower to flower without the use of a lot of greens. The bride's bouquet you might see size-wise in a clutch bouquet, you know, almost dinner plate size. Put a dinner plate in front of you and see if you can handle that. The bridesmaids could be the same color or even a little bit smaller, but the trends on those types of things really has to do more with the rounded. Not that we don't quite often do the traditional bouquet, the cascading bouquet that, you know, especially for our taller bride, it's still very, very beautiful look and a little bit more traditional. As far as centerpieces and church arrangements go, I'm still going to use the word minimalistic. You're going to see a lot of glass, the flowers being displayed on glass, or you're looking at flowers through glass. In just a minute, we'll walk through the cooler. We have several weddings this weekend, and we'll give you an idea of some of the things that we have right now. I'm asked quite often about the seasonality of flowers, and to be quite honest with you, with as air travel and as close together as Holland is, and California and Florida and Ecuador, you know, we get flowers from all around the world in just a few days. The availability of flowers really doesn't change that much, but what does change is the fabric. You'll see a lot of cocos and browns being used in the fall. This spring we're seeing just lots of bright colors on dresses. So really the bridesmaid's dress dictates the flowers. Given appropriate amount of time, really we can bring anything in. There's certain flowers that have seasonality, but I've done white tulips on Christmas Eve before, you know, with evergreen. We used to always think that tulips was a spring flower, but, you know, once again, with the way flowers are transported, it really just opens up the world to many things. I certainly can't do a poinsettia in the middle of July, and you know, certain flowers has their limitations, but given proper time, it's kind of hard to stump us. Trust me, I know that when we're doing these weddings, some of us have more money to spend, and some of us have to be a little bit more budget conscious. And for the budget-conscious bride, or even if you're not so budget-conscious and just want to be artistic, come in and buy bunches of flowers. We can rent you the vases, or you might even have the vases yourself. But don't look past the chance of you doing it yourself. If you buy those flowers from us, want to either come in here and design them with us, or actually take them home for a minimal charge, we'll let you store them back in our cooler until your wedding day. But here's just some of the things that we have. But just come and buy a small bunch and you be the florist. You can save a lot of money. I told you I'd show you some of the weddings that we're working on right now, but we used the word minimalistic just a minute ago, and if you noticed here, there's only 7 flowers in this bouquet, and as I talk about glass and putting flowers on a pedestal, as I come right over here, this arrangement up on a pedestal like this, and possibly even a few flowers in the green, is really, really an elegant look. Talking more about minimalistic, there's what I've done with 7 flowers, but the flowers are very, very original. We've got a couple of different types of orchid. We've got mini calla lilies, the traditional peony, and also a cymbidium orchid. But look what those flowers can do. Not only the color combination that they come with, but what you can do just with 6 or 7 flowers. And finally, we've been talking a lot about a glass and minimalistic. Look what a single stem of orchid did in a square vase with just a few rock at the bottom. Imagine those on your tables as centerpieces. Thanks again for joining us today as I showed you some of our spring weddings that we're doing here at Boesen's today, and gave you an idea of some of the styles and also some of the time frames. At the end of the day, I want you to remember that you are driving the ship. If you only have a few days and need to come in and are a little bit more open to what you can get, we can do it on short notice. But I certainly encourage you to visit us at weddingflowersdesmoines.com, boesen.com, or pick up the phone and call us at 244-ROSE. That's 244-7673. Feel free to ask for me. I'm Tom Boesen, and I'd love to make your day even a little better.